Well, the DA's incoming leadership is currently being decided upon with voting in the 2023 Federal Conference an hour in. There are 2 to go until it closes. The results of 2,000 delegates, the digital votes, will be announced at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And after that, the newly elected leader will deliver a speech. Now, our reporter, Erin joins us live now from the Gallagher Convention Centre. Erin, there's a lot of focus, of course, on the party's federal leader, but the roles of, the federal chair, for instance, and the federal council chairperson are also equally important.
They certainly are, and each of those senior roles in the DA also includes deputies under them, 2 for the federal chair and 1 for the federal council chair. We have some delegates streaming in to my right, and if we can have a look, I wonder, sir, what province are you from?
I'm from the Western Cape.
You're from the Western Cape?
Yes.
Tell us quickly, how's the conference been going so far?
Very good, very good. It's a pleasure to be here, really. I enjoy it.
And have you cast your vote for the leadership of the DA moving forward?
Already.
How do you feel about your decisions? Was it a tough call?
Confident. I trust my own vote. I know exactly what I want. Really.
And do you think this leadership is going to be able to win more national support in 2024?
I think so. We must make sure about our leadership, competent, and as the DA we know where to go. And I know that we will we can get more votes to the election on 2024.
Are you willing to disclose who you voted for leader? I do see, if you don't mind me moving your tag.
So all is in front of my. Can I say it?
You tell me.
I was voted for John.
Tell me why not Dr. Palatse?
Dr. Palatse is also a very good leader, but for now, we will give her time in future. I think the timing is a bit out, but in future we will support her. She's also a very good leader. No problem. I got my confidence also in her. So we are here for John today, and the trust and the support is our team, and we will support him in the DA. And I'm a proud DA member, and I will stay a DA member, really.
So just lastly, your name and where in the Western Cape you're from?
I'm Raymond Wilskut. I'm from Oudtshoorn, from the East region, yes.
Ons moet die onderhoud dan in Afrikaans gevoer het.
I try my utmost best to answer it in English, but it's alright, there's no problem. I'm here. And I'm very glad to be here. En dat voelt voor mij goed, omdat ik vandaag hier is. En ik heb volle vertrouwen in die leiderschap. Wat gestaan het, wat gecompeteerd het tegen elkaar. Ek dink hulle kan hierdie party as die demokratiese alliansie vorentoe vat.
Baie dankie meneer, lekker dag vir jou. There we hear full confidence in the DA leadership. One delegate who's cast his vote online and has put his vote behind John Steenhuisen to lead the party into 2024. And of course, we did speak to Dr. Mimi Gondwe earlier. She described the processes involved in the 2,000 delegates casting their ballots for the new leadership of the DA. To give you a sense of what that entails, let's take a listen.
Voting opened at 6, so delegates can vote between 6 and 9 this morning. What happened a little after 5 this morning was that all delegates were sent a link and a unique voting code, to use for voting.
It's Malatsi, eh? Now, we were speaking about some of those other leadership roles in the DA. It's important to understand a little bit how the structures of the opposition party works. The federal council chair role, for example, up for a new or old leader, as the case may be, that will all be announced at 2 o'clock today, after which we'll have that newly elected leader's speech. This is a very administrative role in Thokozo. It's a bit like the Secretary General of the ANC, a sort of nerve center role in the official opposition. It comes with immense responsibilities. And then we have the role of the federal council chair. So you have the federal chair and then you have the federal council chair. That is currently filled by Helen Ziller. We spoke to her yesterday. But one of the candidates who's hoping to get one of those other top roles in the DA, but beyond the leader, is Solly Malatsi. And we had a word with him yesterday. Here's what he had to say about his candidacy.
internally, I've been engaging delegates and saying that we need to make the positions of federal deputy chairpersons much more politically worthy for the people that occupy them, so that they are not just ceremonial, but that they add value. Currently, our constitution identifies 4 responsibilities. One is building relations with civil society, and I think it's something that I can play an instrumental role in doing that. Secondly, it's about international relations, but that I think it's a role that the leader can be able to fulfill, particularly because we've got partner networks through the international liberal network that we do. But I think we need much more to close the gap between the federal leadership and the provincial structures and all the other caucuses that exist throughout this, because now the DA is not just present at national and provincial level. People in municipalities, people in Polokwane or in Giyani, where my constituency, get questions about what's happening in Tshwane, and we need that flow of information to reach our public reps and our activists as quick as possible, so that when they engage with voters, they are empowered with the right information.
Because of the federal chair role is really a deputy to the leader of the party. So it's a very senior role in the official opposition. And then with the federal council chair, that is the akin to Secretary General role. It's more administrative, but it's really important to the function and the health of a political party, in this case the DA, and how it operates. All of those internal machinations of the party being very important as it looks to 2024. And as we heard one of those delegates saying, looks to getting votes in the national polls.
Yes, lots of jubilance out there at the Gallagher Convention Centre, Erin, but we know that voting officially closes at around 9 o'clock this morning, but what else is going to form part of the agenda for today's proceedings?
So interestingly, there will be a closed session this morning on the finances of the DA. We were trying to get an answer out of Dr. Gondwe on the actual cost of this entire operation here at Gallagher Convention Centre over the last 2 days. It's been quite a performance, really, not only musical performance, but logistically a well-oiled machine. Delegates have their bags and booklets, pens, catering, the rest of it. And as much as we scrutinise the ANC when it comes to its expenditure of funds, of course, the DA is up for the same kind of scrutiny. They're going to have that discussion internally, and we'll see what answers we can get from some of the leadership of the party afterward. But into the afternoon, we will have an address from the incumbent leader, and then at 2 o'clock, the announcement on those votes, which close at 9 o'clock, and then 2:30, the maiden speech of the newly elected DA leader following the 2023 Congress. So that's what we can expect into the afternoon. But DA Chief Whip Sibiwe Gwarube yesterday, speaking to delegates here, reflected on some key themes. She's senior in the party and certainly gave a strong address to the hall yesterday. Here's some of that speech yesterday during the day.
We saw the opening ceremony with a number of speakers, including our mayors from around the country. But also we saw some robust discussion around constitutional amendments, which is a very critical and a crucial part of Congress. But I think for me, one of the key things was the political maturity we saw in the end, where our 2 delegates came and made their pleas to our 2 candidates for the position of federal leader when they were speaking to the delegates about their offer. And again, I think that speaks to the maturity of the internal democracy that we have. So we're quite pleased, and we're looking forward to voting. Begins at 6 a.m. in the morning tomorrow and closes at 9, and so we are hoping everything will go without a hitch.
Well, Erin, yesterday we were pretty inundated with speeches from the various leaders and senior members of the Democratic Alliance. One of those, of course, being Dr. Ivan Meyer, who's the current federal chair, who's also up for re-election. He opened the Congress. What did he have to say?
Quite a sharp opening from Meyer, clearly looking to 2024, putting the ANC on notice in no uncertain terms. You were asking about the program for today. He is set to address delegates here again, and that is at 8 o'clock this morning. Then we will go to that closed session I mentioned before, and the speech by John Steenhuisen, current DA leader, is 11, with, as I say, the announcement of the election results at 2. In terms of Mayor's address yesterday, as I say, really setting the scene or the tone for this Congress, coming after the ANC, as it were, Mayor putting the governing party on notice, speaking about instituting a coalition government in the very union buildings as of next year following the national polls. Here's some more of what he had to say to the 2000 DA delegates here yesterday.
Mothers across South Africa and parents are rightfully worried about their children and their future. Parents want a better future for their children. We want a better future for all in South Africa. Ons soek 'n beter toekoms vir al die mense in Suid-Afrika. The suffering must end in South Africa. People are no longer believing the national government's rhetoric. They want to see action. They want to see results. South Africa will go next year to the polls to end ANC rule in South Africa. This Congress now serves notice to the ANC. Pack up and go or face electoral defeat. Die ANC moet oppak, want volgende jaar kom hier 'n nuwe regering in Suid-Afrika. This Congress is thus giving notice that the ANC is an outgoing government in South Africa. This Congress further gives notice that the DA will lead a new coalition government in the union buildings in South Africa.
So there's a taste of what we heard yesterday from Dr. Ivan Meyer. He's on the stage again this morning. Delegates streaming in. Christopher Puppet, the mayor for the DA, has just walked through. He's going to go and register. I wanted to speak to these two gentlemen just quickly. How are you two?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Erin from Newzroom Afrika, sir. Your name?
Oh, I'm Councillor Pindile Matriti.
And tell me, Councillor, have you cast your votes?
Yes, I did.
How are you feeling? Are you happy with your decision?
I'm very happy because there was no pressure. I took my own decision. I chose the leaders that I believe in. So I'm very comfortable. I'm happy.
Are you comfortable to tell us who you voted for leader of the DA?
No, the vote is supposed to be a secret ballot. So if now I must tell you that it is no longer a secret, so I must not tell you.
And what was on your mind when you made that decision? What kinds of things were you thinking about in terms of who you chose?
I am thinking of what is going to happen in the next election. What I considered is the leadership that must actually take us to the next level. As the DA, we reach a particular level, but I think we also need to go beyond that. Because it should not be about electing leaders for DA, but it should be about saving the country now. Because I think you can also agree with me, we've seen the collapse in the current leadership of the country. So we need, I think, young blood to actually bring back that hope of a new South Africa with all the opportunities for all.
Thank you. Sir, do you agree? Your name?
Yes, I agree. I'm Councillor Khalifa.
And did you have the same kinds of thoughts when you were making your decision about leader?
I cannot hear again.
I'm saying, were you also thinking about the future of the country when you made your vote for leader of the DA?
Yes, I'm not thinking about the future of the country. That's how I have to make a right vote because to save the country, to protect our country, because now our country is on disaster now. So we have to now to make a right vote.
And where are you from?
I'm from Western Cape in Stellenbosch area. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you both. We're hearing a bit of a weekend special in the background. This has been a weekend special for the DA, a very important and historic, event for the political party in Thokoza. We will, of course, keep you updated with rolling coverage throughout the day on Newzroom Afrika channel 405. And checking with you later.
All right, Erin, thank you so much. We'll leave it there for now. That's Erin Bates live to us from the Gallagher Convention Centre.
I've decided to make myself available for the position of federal leader at the upcoming Federal Congress.